Breaking news today, a call to end the attack on Gaza has been stepped up by Israel's allies. On Monday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will visit Tel Aviv and is anticipated to urge Israel to end its offensive in Gaza, following international calls for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict. More than 18,700 Palestinians have lost their lives, and the northern part of Gaza has been turned into a landscape as a result of the 10-week-long conflict. The number of Gazans who have fled their homes is close to 85%. The health ministry in Gaza reports that over 18,700 Palestinians have been killed since Israel's declaration of war on Hamas. The death toll does not distinguish between civilians and combatants. Following a Hamas raid in southern Israel on October 7 that killed approximately 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and captured about 240 hostages, Israel reported that 116 of its soldiers had died in its ground offensive. At this time, some see the same kind of excessive force used against Palestinians in Israel's murder of 3 hostages. Israel's discovery of a massive tunnel close to the Gaza border has prompted inquiries regarding intelligence gathering prior to the war. Calls for a ceasefire in Gaza are being stepped up by European nations. Go to https://apnews.com/hub/Israel-Hamas-war to read more about the Israeli-Hamas conflict. From AP, presented here is the current state of the war. According to eyewitnesses, the Israel fire has struck Gaza's Shifa hospital. Multiple casualties have been reported as a result of an Israeli airstrike on Gaza's main hospital. Images shown on Al Jazeera TV appeared to depict the aftermath of the attack on Shifa Hospital in Gaza City, with multiple bodies lying on the ground within the sprawling medical complex. The Associated Press was informed by 2 individuals seeking refuge at the hospital that the strike had occurred. Witness Assad Abu Radwan reported 5 casualties and assisted 2 injured individuals in seeking shelter inside the building. As of this writing, the Israeli military has made no statement. Earlier in the war, Israel accused Hamas of hiding a major command center inside and beneath the medical compound in Shifa, which the militant group and hospital staff denied. The standoff lasted for a long time. Following last month's raid on Shifa, Israeli forces unearthed what they claimed to be a militant hideout in a tunnel beneath the hospital, along with other evidence that the facility had been utilized by Hamas. There were tens of thousands of displaced people and hundreds of patients trapped for days without food, water, or medical supplies due to the fighting outside Shifa. As Israeli forces drew near, most people fled the nearly deserted hospital. However, the hospital has repurposed itself as a shelter. In the weeks subsequent to the raid, the emergency department at Shifa was characterized by the World Health Organization as a bloodbath. The organization is currently working to restore services at Shifa and was able to visit on Friday. There were reportedly hundreds of injured people, some of whom were having sutures applied while lying on the floor and given very little pain medication. Tens of thousands of people are taking refuge in the medical compound, according to the WHO, despite the fact that food and water are in extremely short supply. In the middle of the Red Sea, a commercial ship is attacked. A U.S. military official announced Monday that an attack occurred on a tanker flying the flag of the Cayman Islands along an important shipping route off the coast of Yemen. The Swan Atlantic, a carrier of chemical and oil products, was the most recent victim of an assault that has targeted ships in the Red Sea and the strategically important Bab el-Mandeb Strait. The Houthi rebels in Yemen, who are backed by Iran, have taken credit for the attacks. They claim they are targeting Israeli vessels that support Palestinian militants. At approximately 9 a.m. local time, the vessel was attacked by multiple projectiles. According to the U.S. official. An anonymous official who was briefed on the attack said that the USS Carney, a U.S. warship that patrols the area and provides security to ships, was dispatched to the scene of the incident. Vessels in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, off Yemen's port of Mocha, were warned to exercise caution after an incident was reported by the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, a branch of the British military responsible for monitoring shipping lanes in the Middle East. A possible explosion in the water was reported approximately 2 nautical miles away from the ship. It took some time for the Houthis to take credit for the attack. An advocacy group has accused Israel of intentionally starving civilians. Here in Jerusalem, a war crime, according to Human Rights Watch, is Israel's intentional starvation of the Gazan population. On Monday, The rights group based in New York stated that Israeli forces were apparently razing agricultural areas while willfully impeding humanitarian assistance and deliberately blocking the delivery of water, food, and fuel. As of December 14, 56% of Gazan households were facing severe levels of hunger, an increase from 38% 2 weeks prior, according to the UN's food agency. According to HRW, senior Israeli officials, including Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, made public remarks expressing their aim to deprive civilians in Gaza of food, water, and fuel after the October 7 attack by militants based in Gaza on Israel, which killed approximately 1,200 people. Human Rights Watch reported that other Israeli officials have signaled their intention to withhold humanitarian aid until the 240 hostages that Palestinian militants kidnapped and brought to Gaza are freed.